Cognitive load in the digital age, optimizing learning for focus. Many people experience a persistent sense of mental noise when they attempt to concentrate. Even in quiet moments, attention feels divided, effort feels heavier than expected, and learning requires more energy than it once did. This experience is widespread because the cognitive environment has changed faster than human neurobiology. The digital world delivers continuous stimulation, rapid context shifts, and constant novelty. These conditions place sustained pressure on attentional systems that evolved for far slower and more stable informational environments. This keynote examines how digital overload affects learning at a neurological level and outlines practical strategies for designing environments, habits, and tools that support focus, memory, and understanding. The goal is not technological withdrawal. The goal is cognitive optimization within modern conditions. The brain drain, understanding digital overload. Human attention evolved to respond to change. Novel stimuli activate attentional networks because historically, environmental changes signaled opportunity or risk. This mechanism remains active in the modern brain. Digital systems exploit this sensitivity by introducing frequent interruptions. Notifications, updates, alerts, and content refreshes repeatedly trigger attentional shifts. Each shift requires the brain to disengage one neural network and activate another. This process places continuous demands on the prefrontal cortex, which manages working memory, goal maintenance, and cognitive control. Over time, frequent reorientation reduces the efficiency of sustained attention. Focus becomes harder to maintain because the brain is repeatedly trained to expect interruption. Fragmentation and cognitive load. Working memory has limited capacity. Learning requires this capacity to remain available long enough for information to be encoded and integrated with prior knowledge. When digital interruptions consume working memory resources, fewer cognitive resources remain available for learning. Information may feel familiar during exposure without becoming durable in memory. Neuroscience research shows that memory consolidation depends on sustained neural activation. Fragmented attention disrupts this process, resulting in shallow encoding and weak recall. This explains why extended study sessions may produce limited long-term retention under conditions of high cognitive load. Emotional and cognitive fatigue. Sustained cognitive fragmentation affects emotional regulation. Continuous task switching elevates physiological stress responses and contributes to mental fatigue. Decision-making becomes more effortful as attentional control weakens. This leads to decision fatigue, reduced persistence, and increased cognitive strain. Mental exhaustion emerges not from depth of thinking, but from repeated reorientation and information management. Over time, the nervous system adapts to constant stimulation by maintaining heightened alertness, which further reduces the capacity for calm, sustained focus. Learning in high-stimulation environments. Modern learning environments frequently add extraneous cognitive load through dense content, rapid pacing, and competing stimuli. Cognitive load theory distinguishes between intrinsic load, which is inherent to the material, and extraneous load, which arises from presentation and environment. Learning efficiency declines when extraneous load consumes working memory capacity. Digital environments often amplify extraneous load through notifications, multitasking norms, and poorly structured information. As a result, learning feels effortful and retention remains limited despite time invested. Restoring cognitive conditions for learning. Focus improves when cognitive environments reduce unpredictability. When interruptions are minimized, attentional systems stabilize and cognitive effort becomes more efficient. Time-blocked work, controlled input channels, and intentional information boundaries support sustained neural engagement. Environmental design plays a central role in attention regulation. Devices, schedules, and learning spaces shape attentional patterns more reliably than effort alone. Intentional information intake. Learning improves when information consumption is guided by explicit goals. Purposeful engagement activates top-down attentional control and improves memory encoding. Questions such as relevance, application, and connection to prior knowledge guide cognitive resources toward meaningful integration. Deliberate intake reduces cognitive noise and improves retention. Designing learning for cognitive reality. Effective learning design aligns with how memory systems operate. Spaced repetition supports long-term retention by reactivating memory traces over time. Active recall strengthens neural pathways by requiring retrieval rather than passive exposure. Clear structure, reduced visual clutter, and controlled pacing reduce extraneous load and support comprehension. Learning tools that prioritize focus and reflection align with cognitive constraints and promote deeper understanding. The focus future. Attention shapes learning, reasoning, and decision-making. Cognitive environments that protect attention support higher-order thinking and adaptive problem-solving. At an individual level, attention management improves learning outcomes and mental clarity. At a collective level, sustained focus supports complex reasoning and long-term planning. Optimizing cognitive load requires intentional design choices rather than constant adaptation by the learner. Closing. Learning quality depends on cognitive conditions. Digital overload alters those conditions by increasing fragmentation and cognitive load. Focus remains attainable through environmental design, intentional information intake, and learning systems aligned with neurocognitive principles. Attention is a finite resource. Its protection supports learning, memory, and understanding in an increasingly complex digital world.